As promised, I should do a step-by-step on making sourdough bread my way. We've got the sourdough starter. Started off with 50 grams of sourdough starter. I then added 50 grams of water to it and 50 grams of flour to it, and that sit overnight so that it could start to ferment. And as you can see, it's fermenting quite rapidly. I haven't touched it at all, just pull it out, pull it off the side, open the lid. Loads of bubbles. It's kind of doubled in size, it's bubbled all the way through. And I've got it sat here. So I've got my weighing scales with my bowl. Weighing scales on, set at naught. Water, tepid, just out of the tap. And I've got my sourdough starter. Right, so we need 325 grams of water. Too much in there at the moment, so I'll just take a little bit of that out. I'll say this weighing scales are set on naught, so it doesn't matter. 288 at the moment, so a little bit back in. 289, 302. Thereabouts. I mean, we're not looking at maths science, are we? 323. Need 2 grams more. Well, there we go. 325. 325 of water. And then we're going to take the sourdough and we're going to literally... Henry, can you just hold this camera for me? Come this side of me. Alright. I'm going to pour it in. So actually pour it in. And a good sourdough will float. As you can see, it's so full of air, it's floating on top of the water. So full of air. If you come over the top, Henry, you can see it. Right, the recommended amount is 100 grams, but I mean, we're looking at what we got here. It's coming out of the jar. We've got 125 grams, so slightly over what I would say I needed desperately, 130 grams. From there, now it's in the water, we're going to stir it in. Stir it all into the water, like that. We're going to, so it's all incorporated in, lovely jubbly. Like so. That is that. You see, lovely. Right, put that in there. Then the flour front, so I'm going to reset it again. Move the flour over near me. Right, so we need 500 grams of flour. It's about 10 of these, thereabout. Crikey. $500 grams of flour.
9.5.
9.5 was it? I said about 10, didn't I? Last time we need scales for now. Put them to one side. Salt is next. Just ordinary table salt. About a tablespoon of table salt. That's that job. And this is the only time I really get dirty. So with my fingers, it gives me a good indication of what's going on in the bowl when I use my fingers. So it's the only time I get dirty really doing this. After this it's really straightforward. Stirring it all in, mixing it all in neatly. All I'm doing is just incorporating the sugar, the salt and the yeast all together. So it looks like I'm doing anything fancy, I'm not, I'm just trying to get it done as quick as possible. It's starting to go in nicely. Keep the sides of the bowl clean as I can. And that is it now for half an hour. Just leave it just like that. I'm going to cover it up with a tea towel, leave it for half an hour, and I'll come back to it. Right, so that's the first half an hour gone. If you have a look in there, H. Not really a lot going on in there. Right, so we get some water in our jug. Only for your fingers, this. Right, dampen your fingers, like so. Down the side of the bowl, if you see that, down there. Collect it in your fingers, up and down. Dampen your fingers, turn the bowl a quarter, up and down. Turn it another quarter, dampen fingers, grab hold of it, up and down. Last one, like so, up and down. So that is that. Wash your fingers off, just like that. Cover it back up, like so. Another 30 minutes time, and we do that for 4 times. Right, so that's another half an hour gone. So again, if you have a look inside here, you can start to see it. If you come over here and you have a look, you start to see bubbles forming, big air pockets forming, where she's starting to ferment inside this and eat the new flour and whatever you want to put in there. Right, so I've got some water again, as before, down the side, pick it up, turn it in. What we're doing here, we're stretching the gluten, I guess we're mixing it. Each time I turn it by a quarter, pull it up over the top, and then again, just come on, stretch, you know you want to, over the top, and then that's it. We're going to do this another 2 times, so it's going to be another hour of doing this. So half an hour's time I'll do it again, and then in half an hour after that I should do it again, and then we'll move on. I'll show you it then. Right, now this is the last 4 turns. As you can see, it's changed consistency now, and it's really stringy, and that's just lovely, isn't it? And once I've done this is the number 4 fold. So as you can see, like I say, it's in there. Totally looks different to what it did to earlier. So I'm going to cover that up now for another 2 hours and just leave it to rest for 2 hours, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so now it's been sat for 2 hours, and we have to get it out of here. So it's a bit sticky. That's it, here she comes. Alright, so you pour it onto the worktop, being gentle as you can, trying to keep the air inside it. A bit like what's going on behind me, because Trina's full of air, possibly hot air. Right, put it there. Right, so when we cover the top of it in flour, just gently dust it in flour, like so. I use this pizza slice. Literally all we're going to do is turn it. Turn it like that. Turn it. Turn it. Stop being. Turn it. Right, just use one hand just to gently, you're making a ball out of it, but you're being gentle with it because it's full of air. Right. So you're underneath it, just twist. Like so. Full of air. Put that over the top of it. 30 minutes, we'll come back to it then. Right, it's been resting here now for the last half an hour. You can see air bubbles all over it. It's looking nice. Right, so dust it again lightly with flour, like so. Make sure you cover it totally because you're going to turn it over now. We're going to turn it over and then shape it into a ball and then put it into the basket. So basically, you take this again. You're going to use one hand, round, being gentle, but you're being firm at the same time. Just this hand, just to balance it. See the ball, flick it over. So now we're going to shape it into the round. Just shaping it, firm on the hand, firm with the paddle, and up and into the bowl. Nicely floured. We'll leave it on the side now for 2 hours, and then we'll put it in the fridge overnight, and then about 12 hours time we'll have a look at it and then put it in the oven. Right, it's the following morning. I've just got sourdough out of the fridge. It's been in there all night. About 13 hours it's been sat in there. As you can see, it's full of bubbles. It's grown at least double the size. It's massive. It looks fantastic. I've got the oven preheating flat out. You can't get it no hotter. In there, I've got my mussel tin with the lid on it, preheated also. So when that is preheated, I will then continue to show you what we do next. We're going to turn the oven down now. It's been flat out, so about 240 it was. Now it's about 230, or will be when it slowly cools down. This pan has been in there the whole time it's been preheating. Now it's really hot, it's virtually glowing, it's so hot. Take the lid off carefully, you can see how hot it is, it's smoking. Right, so moving this over, this is probably the hardest bit of the entire sourdough now. Right, we're going to flour the top of it. We're going to tip it out really gently if we can. Trying to keep as much air inside it as possible. Just flour, 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 quite a lot of flour on there. You don't want it sticking anywhere, do we? Alright. That is still really hot, I can feel it on my hand. We're going to turn this over gently now and put it onto the worktop. So this is probably the most trickiest bit. I've just got to remove it from this tea towel. Remember yesterday we really heavily floured the tea towel. Yeah, it still grips a little bit. Just being gentle, so you don't want to damage it too much. You don't want to knock any air out of it either. Just gently peeling it away. Some areas might stick a little bit. It's one of those things. Just gently does it. Just taking it off. See, we lost a little bit up there, but yeah, it is one of those things. And like I said, I'm being as gentle as I can, but I'm also moving as quick as I can because I don't want to hurt it. I don't want it laying around too long. Right, so as you can see there, it's gone flat. Right, the flour's underneath it. Just gently get my hands and reform it into a ball. Just gently. I'm not pushing hard on it at all. I'm just literally turning under on itself. Just see it's reforming its ball. Just pushing it back in there gently. Just turning it. I don't want it to stick to me. It's trying hard to stick to me. It's naughty. I don't want to overdo it. It's really being naughty sticking to my hand. Right, then I'm just going to carefully lift it up. Being ever so careful because, like I say, this pan is red hot, so I don't want to get it on my hand if you're just looking there, Zachary. That's it in there. I'm just going to put the lid on it now. Again, be careful. We want it to steam, so if in the oven, it's going to cook inside there. The steam's going to stay inside there with it to create the crust. The first cook's going to be 40 minutes. We're going to leave the lid on it in there for 40 minutes. Then we're going to take the lid off then at 40 minutes. And put it back in for another 30 minutes then without the lid, but I'll show you that as we go. Cool. So here it is. I've just taken it out of the oven. It's fully cooked now. That's the last 10 minutes cooked. Get myself a cooling rack. Just going to turn this out. It turns out lovely. Lovely bake, you can hear it. It's lovely. Nice hollow sound. Turn it over, it's nice and hot. And there she is. Today I cooked it for 40 minutes covered and 10 minutes uncovered. I'm just trying to see how to get the perfect crust. Yesterday I done it for 30 minutes covered and 20 minutes uncovered. The results are very similar. I think this crust is possibly better than the one yesterday. Either way, you need to cook it for 50 minutes. That's the length of time it needs to be cooked for at this temperature, and it cooks perfectly through. It's a lovely loaf of bread. Ta-da! Be sure to like and comment. Leave me any questions. If I can answer them, I will. If I can't, then I won't.